It's time to pick Dennis up, who's flown in from Canada. He's coming to stay with us for a fortnight.
Dennis is returning for a second visit with us. He's a journeyman or Red Seal automotive mechanic and vehicle inspector with over 40 years experience. Thanks Dennis, we're so lucky to have your help and expertise.
I like big motors and I cannot lie. This episode is all about doing stuff with engines.
With little money, lots of support, Kiwi ingenuity and good old blood, sweat and tears, we're creating a community expedition and research boat built and run by volunteers from around the world, because life is too short not to fight for your dream.
I took a stroll downtown this evening when I heard music echo through the night. The same old songs that I heard the night before. So I started running so I wouldn't be too late. I didn't think that I would ever see your face again, but I was wrong. Yeah, I was wrong.
The Hilux is getting some love. We've just polished up the two headlights because these things were faded and you couldn't actually see anything. Yeah, it's a little bit dangerous at night when you're trying to drive. I've thrown the rear bar on the back. Dennis gave me a hand to put that up. We've bolted that in so that we can start carrying more heavy stuff. And then I found this at the scrappy, just a cheap tin box, which I'm going to use for the engine over there so that we can strap, I'm going to weld it to the side of it actually, and then to the frame, and then any parts and stuff like that can go with the engine in that box. And we also grabbed a whole bunch of containers so that we can start using those when we pull the main engine out of Brupeg. While all of that's going on, Dennis is fitting a new stereo into the race truck.
I would love to show you how awesome the stereo is, but I can't because YouTube will slap me.
It also comes with hands-free, so we can do the fancy things like talking to each other when we are remote working, and other things that I believe are popular these days with the kids. We're just doing a professional repair of Brupeg's race truck aerial. The old aerial was a bit shabby. We found an excellent use for stick welding rods. I believe this is actually the only correct use for stick welding rods as far as I'm aware. Perfect. Yeah, do the job properly and seal it off. Yeah, lovely. I don't know if it works. If you're looking to do a repair like this at home, it's best to use 6013 welding rod. I can't let you hear the song very well that's going, but he's found about a dozen radio stations using the welding rod aerial at the moment. It's working phenomenal. Time to get this engine back together, get it down to Brisbane so that we can start rebuilding it. Dennis is going to give me a hand. I'm going to put some shade up so that we don't die.
Time for me to be moving on. Moving on. Yes, it is. Got no regret. Ain't nothing gonna wrong. It's just me following the line that the stars have drawn. That's why.
This is what we're working with. We need to get that pallet of parts back on top of the motor. So we don't have to be too precious about it. We're just going to basically throw it back together. We will put the gaskets on, the head gaskets on, so that we don't damage anything. Not that it matters, everything's getting replaced. And then once everything's bolted together loosely, this should be just about ready to go. Just need to put a little container on the side here so that we can, any nuts and bolts and stuff that's left over from our parts will be going down as part of this frame.
I'm sure glad you kept, but you didn't label them, did you?
No, what I'm doing is put it on to protect the liners.
Yeah, it does make a difference here. Look at that, hey? Quite thick.
Huh.
Does that?
On there.
Maybe they do make a difference which way they go on.
Maybe they do. That one doesn't fit there, so let's move that. There's a middle. There's a middle. Look at that. No,
This, well, I can go like this, but I'll get my fingers caught. But that doesn't mean we can't let go of it.
Yeah, there you go. Now do inlet port.
I'll be all right.
up on top maybe. There's a dowel just there, so we're going to go. Yep, that's it. Perfect. All right. This one's a nice, easy one because it's got nothing to hold on to. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Lovely. I don't know why it takes rebuilders so long to put engines together.
I don't know either.
Right, what do we got? Rocker boxes. You got two valves, which are small.
And you got the, and then you got the injector.
Big injector, yeah. So you got your little wee guy there, like that, and then you got your big one, looks totally different, which is the center injector. This is
Doesn't matter which one's which.
No, they're each one's the same, but there's a trick.
There was some of them that were rustier than others.
Yeah, that's right. There's the back one actually.
Okay.
I'll put this on the back.
Sure.
So there's a trick.
You got to hold them like that.
Okay, back one. Okay, there we go, and we just adjust it to suit the rods. All right. Yeah. There we go. They should sit down like that. Just like that. So this is the oil feed line for the injectors. So this is an STC motor, and these are basically hydraulically actuated injectors. There's a little plunger that sits on top that's oil fed. So the fuel pressure basically determines when the oil pressure gets fed up into these injectors. So we're changing these injectors and getting rid of this oil feed line. So we'll also be changing these rocker boxes because we don't want this oil feed anymore. Yeah, we're going to the, this is an STC motor, and we're going to the previous generation rocker boxes so that we can go to the previous generation injector. Yeah.
So we need that off.
Yeah. Okay, let's go this end first.
Too far out the other way. Okay.
Oh, hey, we could do it there. How's that? Oh, there we go. I'm in.
Mine started.
Yep, same here. All right, we can probably buzz those in now. Come here. Good boy, come on. Just get this one in a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think that started. It's not going to fall off.
Maybe we just leave it at that.
Yeah, it's not going to fall off.
Yeah, throw this aftercooler on. Same deal. Let's just hang it. Yeah, let's hang it off the center one. Yep. Yep, that's started. Let's start this guy. Right, and that's that one.
That's not going anywhere. Sweet.
We're getting emptier and emptier on our parts tray, and the engine's getting more complete. So everything's basically bolted on loosely. You don't want to put anything on too tight because Carl's got to pull it all apart again. I'm going to try and get the turbo on. That's the housing over the back here. This is the exhaust side of it. And this is the inlet side. This fits on top of there like that basically. I don't know if I've got the equipment to hook that together. We'll see anyway. And then there's a few other bits and pieces. We've got the thermostat housing over there. We've got a fuel, pretty sure that's fuel, fuel filter. Then we've got the crossover pipe, the starter motor, etc. And then all of these other bolts and bits and pieces. We've got the what do you call it? The harmonic balancer down the bottom there. That's got to go. That's that round thing. That's got to go on the front. And then all of these bits and pieces are going to go in a box. This box just here. We found that in the scrappy. It's just a cheap tin box, but what we're planning on doing is welding that to the frame, and then we'll put everything in it and just give it a blip with the welder and seal it shut so it can't come open when we're freighting it. And Carl will just cut it open when it's down there so that he's got the rest of the parts ready to go. Probably weld that box onto the frame down here somewhere because there's nothing really in the way over here. The starter motor goes down that end at the back. Oh, wicked, they've broken the housing.
I made it work.
I figured you would. All right, copper coat. There we go. Let's just put that big long one in. Let's put a bit of goo all the way down it. So that's everything on the engine that we can easily put on. We've still got a few bits and pieces down here. We're going to start loading it into the box and see what fits and what doesn't. That turbo's a little bulky. We're going to have to do something with that, but we don't have the clamp that joins the exhaust side to the inlet side. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that yet. We'll figure that out.
So if I put one of these in here, can I just dump all this in there?
Go for it. Yeah, perfect.
I just want to get the washers on them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's have a concerted effort to get this turbo on.
Oh, you can go put it in here.
Yeah, actually, you know what? It's a bit awkward with... Let's try that.
Spin it here.
Yeah, let's crack that loose. That'll do. Probably enough to get it in.
No, not quite. Oh, we got it.
Yeah, that's good enough. Right, nip that up. Yeah, I think I can see an exhaust.
We got a small leak, boys.
Yeah. Right, that'll eventually sand some clearance. That's good. Okay. Not going anywhere.
It's not going nowhere, man.
It may jiggle, but it won't go anywhere.
No, it won't go anywhere. Sweet.
All right, that's that on. Hang it off those two. This is the original air filter housing that came with the engine, and it's a bit rusty. We're missing parts on it, but I've got this one here that I bought years and years and years ago, and I was going to put it on the engine that's in the boat right now. It's practically the same thing. It's a Donaldson filter. It's designed for a big capacity engine. What I'm going to do is send that one down instead of this one, because I think this one's sort of a bit knackered. Instead of bolting it on the outside here where it normally sits, so if you imagine bolting it there, it sort of hangs out the back end of the engine, takes up more room in the truck for freight. Just going to bolt it on this side so that it's a little bit higher, but it's yeah, easier to fit things around this engine for the freight guys. There we go, that'll hold. Thinking we'll just strap that there, maybe big zip ties. Why don't we sit it on top?
We could.
You just sit it on top. That's how they come factory, just with all the parts
Yeah.
that they forgot to put inside when they rebuild them. They just stick them on top.
Yeah.
In a box.
Yeah. You heard that too.
So there.
And that's a wrap.
So, time to get into the engine room. This place is a pigsty. There's stuff everywhere from various jobs that have happened and we just haven't been able to clean up. But this has to come out. The gantry crane is going to be delivered tomorrow morning, so we need to start getting this ready to rip out of the boat. So I've got various parts from when we stripped down the engine that have to go back. The Kubota over here is in a million pieces. We had to get some serial numbers off that, so I've got to deal with that. Find all the various taps that we have, put them back, put the welder back. That has to go back up into the shelf that we made over there, a little stainless shelf. This stuff here just general tidy up, and then all of this needs to be tidied up. There's a lot of gear to come back into here. We've got heaps of hydraulic gear from Daniel that we're waiting to install. We haven't even been able to touch that yet, but that's next on the list. And then, yeah, let's clear away. Dennis is basically clearing stuff on this desk here so that we can stick all the various bits that go back in the toolbox back together. And then we've got heaps, the whole rear deck is full of tools. We've got to bring them down and then start putting those away as well.
I can see you coming up to my table, all dressed up and nowhere else to go. Got your swag on worse than Clark Gable. Can't tell you how good it feels to tell you no. 'Cause loving you is like drawing blood from a stone. Yeah, 'cause loving you is like drawing blood from a stone. Well, try to.
This is the Angry Pixie Cannon. This is something that we found recently. That one was for you, Michael.
Oh, you got that cute little come along in here.
What's that?
That cute little come
Oh,
along.
yeah, it's a neat little thing, eh?
Yeah, that cute.
Okay, can I give you these two as well? So, quarter drive set. And that there goes down by your feet. There's a box of those.
Yep, I see that. Yep.
We'll probably use this all today.
Yep.
I'll leave the 3/4 ratchet set out because we'll use that today. One fuel line. The way we're going to strip this is pretty much exactly the same way we stripped the other motor when Clint and Duncan gave me a hand to pull that one apart. We can take all the exhaust turbo and any lines that connect the exhaust turbo to the engine, take those off. Then we'll try and get rid of any of this stuff up here, the cooling system. This box has got to go so that we can lift the motor in and out, so we'll get rid of that at the same time. And then while that's happening on that side of the engine with Dennis, I'm going to take this big box here off, which is essentially the intake manifold for this engine. So that's going to come off, and as part of that there's also a few other bits that connect this engine that wasn't on the other one. We've got an air compressor, so the various pipes that go in and out of that air compressor have to be taken off to get this clear of the engine. Once we've got those two off, we can then just focus on getting the rocker box, the last remaining rocker box, and the last two cylinder heads off. We're going to keep these cylinder heads on the boat. They're in perfectly good working order. We may or may not reuse them. We're not 100% certain. It just depends on what Carl wants to do with the engine build to make it as good as we can get it. We are going to use these rocker boxes and put them on the older rocker boxes onto the newer engine, because these rocker boxes delete the oil actuated injectors. So the STC motor that we have downstairs that we're going to rebuild has oil actuated fuel injectors. Long story short, basically the fuel pressure regulates a little valve that then regulates oil pressure in and out of those injectors, changes what the injector does to the engine. We don't need any of that. It's a complexity that isn't required for what we need, so we're going to go back to one generation prior, and by putting these rocker boxes on that engine, we can do that. So that's why we're going to reuse these. We'll rebuild them, but we're going to reuse them on the new engine. Can I have a 1/2 inch extension? Lovely, thank you.
You right there?
Yeah, I just got to get it off a water pipe while I'm lifting. Got him. God, it's a bit of weight in these things.
It's aluminum, isn't it?
Yeah. Filled with...
I can see more.
I think it's aluminium filled with the hopes and dreams of Detroit engineers.
Quit swearing.
That's why it's so heavy. Right, tighter than I thought. I'm just doing gentle each run. Now I'm waiting for the air to come back.
Yeah, I hear it.
Yep. Bridge, 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 bridge. And a push rod. Good enough. No, she don't want to work.
Give me a 3/4.
This is where experience counts. Oh, for God's sake.
You gotta hold the collar back first before you put it in.
I'm disappointed in myself.
I'm not gonna say anything. That might be enough, you know.
Yeah.
Take it off the rattle gun.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
exhaust manifold off.
Not there. Hang on, I just wonder if I can twist that.
You get that?
Ah, there we go. Might be able to get it out now.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, I'll get those other head studs done. So when you're taking cylinder heads off or on, you don't want to just randomly do the bolts up or down when you're torquing them down specifically, but also it's good practice when you're taking it off as well. You kind of want to go in a zigzag pattern, so you're sort of evenly lifting the pressure of that head. At the moment I'm just cracking everything off, so it's not as critical, but I'm not taking so much pressure off that I'm going to warp the head or do anything funny. It doesn't matter so much on big old cast iron heads like this, but it really matters on like cars with like an aluminium head, or if it's an American car and they have an aluminum head. That's your one. Yep. So we'll get rid of them. I think I just started it.
GoPro, stop recording.
Hell, I come 40,000 miles over here to see what them pretty little lips gonna do to me, baby. But every single time that I come around, it seems you got another man trying to keep you down, baby.
I better do everything right now.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
Is this the one that we lifted up?
Yeah, you guys did the roof on it. Yeah, years ago now,
Yeah,
eh?
a couple of years ago, because the boys were all saying that's where you're going.
Yeah. You did it in 2 lots. You did two up there, and then we did 3 up there. Yeah.
Some things you can't take back. Some things you just got to let go. Yes. Well, hell, I got Sammy on the phone, Nikki at home, trying to get along so I can be with you, babe. No, I ain't got time to change your mind, 'cause the bus is humming. Are you staying? Are you coming, babe? Well, you might think you drive me insane. I made the game that you're trying to play. You know, I think that maybe you should know this ain't my first rodeo. I've been around long enough to know there's some things you can't take back. Some things you just got to let go. Well, I ain't got time to change your mind, 'cause the bus is a humming. Are you staying? Are you coming? Come on, baby. Well, I ain't got time to change your mind, 'cause the bus is a humming. Are you staying? Are you coming? Well, you might think you're driving me insane, but I made the game that you're trying to play. You know, I think you really ought to know this ain't my first rodeo. Hell, I've been around long enough to know that there's some things you can't take back. Some things you just got to let go. Well, there's some things you can't take back. Lord, some things you just got to let go. Oh, you gotta let go. Oh, Lord, you can't take it back.
Happy?
Very. That's awesome. And he's awesome too. Yeah. Back into it.
What just him? Baby! Hey? Oh, videoing this bit. What's his name? Isn't it? It's for Bill.
Yeah.
This moment is for Bill.
Yeah.
And Martin.
Oh no, we're bringing the whole show down. Oh no.
Oh no.
How terrible.
Oh no, real life happening.
Oh my God.
No. It's not all
It's not welding.
again.
Now in the bowels of the boat.
Oh, lovely. You got on there.
So anywhere it wants to come off, you're done. And let's put these bolts back in.
Chuck that in the bench or, oh yeah, in the bucket there. Yeah, sure, chuck them in there. I think it's stuck on the O-ring at this end.
It is moving really good.
Yep, that's good angle there. There's a head stud if you need more. What's that in? Is that an O-ring as well?
They're all done. It's all off.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, I saw the whole thing come up.
Yep.
One more here. Yep. Sweet.
Conversation. Let's give a scene on your box bit. All right.
That's heavy, man.
Yeah, it's heavy wall stainless that. I'll do the reach here and you do the lifty. 3, 2, 1. What do you reckon?
Right there
Yep, that's correct.
and here.
Yeah, I reckon that's correct too. That one there lines up with this one. See, it's cracked almost in the same spot.
Yeah.
Cracked just there.
Yeah.
And that one's practically the same spot. It cuts the what do you call it? Cuts part number in half.
Yeah.
And then where did you say this one? Over this side.
On the other side.
God, look at that. Look at that shim. I reckon that would have just about blown a head gasket, I'd say. Is that one shim? Or is it more than one? Oh no, it's a single shim. Oh yeah, look how grubby that is. Look, I reckon we've got a blown head gasket. See that?
Yeah.
Look at this. This is perfectly clean all the way around.
Yeah.
You can see that firing. Beautiful. And then this one is manky between there and there. That's a blown head gasket. Or a blown liner shim. Maybe not the head gasket, but the shim or something. Right, so this engine was not going to work. It worked for us because we were running it with no load and we're idling it. Ready? 3, 2, 1. And straight down. Lovely.
It's sooty, but it's not cracked.
Wow,
But this one here is.
See a crack?
Yep.
Oh yeah, look, yep, on just
Yep.
there.
Yep.
You can just make it a crack. It's interesting that it's doing it on the same spot almost every time, eh?
You don't see anything on your side here?
Wow, that's really grubby, isn't it?
Isn't it?
I can't see any cracks, but there's a lot of carbon, so maybe there's something under the carbon.
Well, you were suspecting also injector problem, I think, didn't you?
This one was running like a bag of shit compared to the rest. Look at that.
Yeah, I
But
know.
also, this is interesting. You can see all the different squirt holes
Yep.
for the injector.
Yep.
So I wonder if this was the bad injector. Because I think one of them was leaking, and I wonder if this is the bad injector.
Okay.
Okay, so the shims are all in place. Every single line is shimmed though, like it's obviously had problems. What have we got?
That's getting thin, but not broken like that other one.
No. There's a lot of carbon on them though.
Yep.
Oh no, this one, look at that. Put your light on that. See, this is quite thick and then it goes down to thin. So I think this is actually getting burnt out. Maybe. Yeah, and look at that. That was around there. You see there's a lot of darkness
Yeah.
in that firing.
Yeah, you would have problems with this thing.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to do the pump, I'll do hydraulics. front end of the boat in the editing studio. Jess is working on this episode, I think. How's it going?
Good, good. Hello. Yep, working on the motor episode, so
Yeah.
lots of motors.
Nice.
And we've got a wee surprise with the gantry beam arriving earlier today.
We do.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that
Thanks,
was pretty
Jeff. You're awesome.
We just found a package has arrived from the wish list, and it's a 3/4 drive impact set. I got a pretty good feeling this is from Michael. So you can see it's an impact ratchet set, so you can put these on a rattle gun and they not explode on you compared to normal sockets. So they're single hex and they're hardened much more than normal. This is amazing, mate. Thank you so much for sending this through. Really appreciate it. So we rang the freight company and booked in the engine, and because we're an out of service area, like a remote area-ish, we're 20 minutes away from town, they can't pick this engine up until next Wednesday. It's Friday now. So next Wednesday or next Friday was the timeline they gave us. So it's going to be a long time. Carl's going to be pretty delayed at getting into this motor to rebuild it. So that wasn't going to do. We tried to figure out another way to actually get this motor moved. Jumped on the phone, found a taxi truck company. So we've got a removalist that's going to turn up in a tiny little green truck. He's going to take it into town to the freight company, who are then going to get it on the overnight down to Brisbane and deliver it hopefully early next week. So that saved us a week by doing that. Cost us a little bit more to get freight, but it's worth it. So now we just have to organise a forklift and get this thing onto the truck. How you going? This is it here. I'll just go and grab one of the boys with the forklift. Yep, you're right, lovely. Yep. Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, lovely. Thanks very much, eh?
But this is a lot newer motor.
Yeah, the one that's in there is from 74, roughly, and this one's a 2011.
So
we'll rebuild this one.
the guy in Brisbane's an expert, and so he can rebuild it like it's better than new. Because it's a particular kind of motor, because we're running on veggie oil as well as diesel. So
When do you reckon you'll get rich to Antarctica?
that'll be next year. Next year, season. So our summer next year.
It's an ongoing negotiation.
That's the dream, but yeah, it'll probably be a year after maybe.
I think the timeline's variable depending on how optimistic we're feeling.
How often this happens?
That's right, you got it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, fellas.
Hopefully the dog doesn't jump overboard.
That's right.
This one as well.
No, I'll use this one. Hello. Oh, did we wake you up? Oh no. Did you get any rest?
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
We decided not to split the gearbox tonight. To do it over the next couple of days. But just take the last little bits off.
And
Well, that's easy enough. Look at that.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right, thanks. That's all right. Cheers.
Caught behind Venetian
Have you got 5'8"?
Oh, I've got 5 here. Yeah, somewhere.
reach for the ceiling
Yeah. I don't think I. Oh no, I did it.
where I
That
belong.
little aluminium ring cut 'em over.
Hey, look at me, man, what I
Whoa! With
That
great
was
power,
gorgeous.
with great air power comes great
Great
responsibility.
What I thought was gone was sitting in my pocket in plain sight all along. I think it's time for me to go, burn all bridges. All I know, I got lost along the way, fell between the foam, pulling stitches. Time to let go, so come what may.
Yeah.
Don't look before you leave.
Okay, so most of it's done. Now the next and exciting installment, separating the gearbox from the motor.
We'll move it forward sort of 3-4 inches so that we can get the gearbox clear of everything.
Take